So the IRS has announced that over billions of dollars in unclaimed relief money is actually available right now for millions of people to claim. There are millions of people that can actually qualify to receive an extra stimulus check, but Congress says that action is actually needed to be taken. So the state governments have also agreed to boost the monthly benefits, everybody. You want to be sure you watch this entire video to get the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. Now, eligible families in many states will actually continue to get at least an additional $95 in food assistance benefits in April. As grocery costs rise, the extra boost in the SNAP program is expected to help an estimated 700,000 households. This comes as inflation continues to soar, and prices rose 8.5%, which is the highest annual increase since 1981. According to the March Consumer Price Index, everybody, grocery costs in general went up 10% year over year, and more specifically, prices for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs increased nearly 14% since last year. And the food bank and pantries across the country are seeing longer lines and more families in need of assistance as their own operating costs rise and they see less supply. They attribute the spike in need to rising food and gas prices, utility costs, higher rent, and the end of the crisis. Now, the governor, Gretchen Whitmer, said this relief ensures that families can thrive and help us build on our economic momentum. The additional benefits are a continuation of expanded benefits that began in May of last year, where all eligible households started receiving more funds. Some Michigan residents started getting additional food assistance in April 2020. Now, households who qualify for SNAP will see an increase of at least $95 a month. Those who are eligible will see those benefits loaded onto their card as a separate payment from the assistance they received earlier in the month. According to a news release, people do not need to reapply to receive the extra benefits. The funding comes from the federal government. Now, folks, how much you receive is actually based on household size. For instance, everybody listen to this. One person will receive $250, while a family of four will receive $835. In March 2020, Congress sprang into action at the start of the crisis to provide relief to struggling people. This came in the form of the CARES Act. The CARES Act provided the first 3 stimulus checks that people will receive, and now this first check was valued at $1,200 per adult and $500 per child dependent. Most of the checks have long since been delivered and either directly in people's bank accounts via direct deposit or checks in the mail. Folks, tell me in the comments down below, is President Biden doing all that it takes to send out tell me what you think in the comments down below. And folks, I personally believe that President Biden should send out the 4th stimulus check sooner than later. It's definitely necessary.
Let's get down to the New York Stock Exchange. Jim Cramer joins us now. We've moved from 200 on the Dow to up 270 even after that negative print on GDP. Is that based on the Fed being able to relax a little, or what are all the cross currents, Jim? What are you seeing?
I think that the Fed can't relax. The companies, including last night, they all say that inflation is just a big problem. I think if we wanted to get past that number in order to be able to talk about and feel what the companies are reporting this very morning and last night, which were almost everyone pretty good except for Teladoc and Align. I mean, those were the 2 outliers. Everybody else has delivered numbers that I really liked.
Does it matter that when you define what a recession?
Chair is pleased to recognize the gentlewoman from Florida, Ms. Castor, for your 5 minutes to question.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome, Secretary Becerra. It's great to see you. And I want to thank you and President Biden for successfully lowering health care costs and premiums for millions of American families. That is what Democrats in Congress intended through the American Rescue Plan. And now high-quality coverage is more affordable and available to families at a time when they really needed to put money back into their pocket. 14.5 million Americans now rely on the Affordable Care Act. And it has been a particular godsend in my home state of Florida, where we're the 3rd largest state in the country, but we have the highest enrollment of any state, 2.8 million Americans now. That's a 28% increase over last year, largely because we were focused on lowering their costs through those enhanced tax credits. Can you briefly discuss the impact of the American Rescue Plan and what it has meant, what those enhanced tax credits have meant for affordable health care coverage? How many new individuals signed up because of those tax credits, and how many, what's the scope, and what do you predict the future holds?
Congresswoman, thank you. By the way, thank you very much for the work you did to make sure that the Affordable Care Act could be there and that we could have the American Rescue Plan to make even better the results of good quality health care available to so many Americans. You mentioned it with the numbers. Americans are speaking with their feet and with their voices and applying for these health care plans. The fact that today 14.5 million Americans can rely on health insurance because of the Affordable Care Act, 6 million of them new to the program altogether.
So how much of an increase in monthly benefits will you be receiving next month? Well, one of the ways in which the current government is looking to help low-income families and families gain some financial relief amid the crisis is through a tax break. It's called the Earned Income Tax Credit, or EITC. You can be eligible for the tax relief if you file little or no taxes, although you will need to submit your tax returns to cause the credit payment to occur.
So I told you something about that. I can talk more about it if you want. But we must continue to reduce our dependence on goods made in other countries, especially countries of concern, and bring production back home. Said one was the 52 billion for chips. The second was 45 billion for the supply chain.
This initiative allows those eligible to eliminate any federal tax owed when it comes to the time of filing returns. If the earned income tax credit amount is going to be more than you owe in taxes, that money will be returned on your tax refund. Those who qualify for the credit can still get a refund even income tax is not owed. Now, there is some new information that has also been released for anyone who received unemployment benefits during the crisis. In 2020, the IRS helped citizens that collected unemployment benefits from paying taxes during the 2021 tax season. But unemployment benefits don't apply as taxable income in today's tax season. Last year, approximately 25 million people collected unemployment benefits granted by the federal government. More than 40 million people obtained unemployment benefits in 2020. Nevertheless, Congress didn't approve a similar tax break for 2021. Tax season began on January 24th and the deadline is April 18th in the majority of states. Congress could indeed pass bills to help the taxpayers in their 2022 files. But since lawmakers are more focused on getting a fourth stimulus check passed, it is unknown whether Congress will decide to pass a bill that will help taxpayers this year. The U.S. economy has been making a slow recovery. The job market rebounded significantly since early 2021, and the national unemployment rate is 3.9%, which is the lowest figure since February 2020. Plus, unemployment benefit claims decreased to pre-crisis levels. According to Mark Stieber, the Chief Tax Information Officer at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service,